So you might be wondering, what are the 5 best legends new players can use in Apex Legends to start off with? Well, today I'm going to list off 5 legends depending on your playstyle, might even become your main down the line here, because these legends are honestly insane. So let's just get straight on into it. The first legend I'm going to recommend to new players is going to be Bloodhound. Now, Bloodhound is one of those legends where it's a scan legend. Now, with this scan legend, you have a few abilities that have access to. You have his tactical, which if you activate his tactical, anything in front of you within 75 meters will be highlighted. So meaning any enemies will get highlighted, being in buildings, being outside, just being anywhere, they will get highlighted in that radius, which is very good if you're trying to play smart. So you got to keep in mind though, when you activate that tactical, for 2 seconds you can be seen by the enemy. So you might want to position yourself somewhere where they can't see you, or they're far away enough that they won't be able to tell where you're at. And with that information you get from the scan, you can then push the team. Next, we have Bloodhound's ultimate. His ultimate is called Beast of the Hunt. If you activate his ultimate, everything around you will become black and white except for enemies. Enemies will become highlighted red, which will be very helpful to actually shoot them. It also makes you a lot more intimidating too when you're in this mode, because a lot of people, when they hear Bloodhound ult, they get scared because either you're a really good Bloodhound that knows how to push, or you're a bad Bloodhound. Most times around, you'll get a confidence boost, so the enemies will lose confidence in the fight, and you'll most times win. Now you got to keep in mind too, when you activate his ultimate, you actually do get increased scan timings, meaning that your scan can, for his tactical, can be activated again repeatedly. The most times this can be done is actually 3 times, so make sure to use his scans carefully while you're in his ultimate. Now the other thing too you have to keep in mind about the ultimate is that you get a 30% movement increase. That is the same as Octane's stem when he uses the stem, so you can keep up with Octane's or with enemies that are running away from the fight, so that way you make sure to pick them and take care of them so you don't have to deal with them later. Next, you have his passives. He has a few passives. The first passive he has is Tracker. With Tracker, how it works is pretty straightforward. If an enemy opens a chest 30 seconds ago, it'll of course say 30 seconds ago when you go to that chest. It won't say exactly 30 seconds, depending how many seconds they've been there. They might have gone by, so it might be like 36 or something. But with that information, you can apply where they're going. They will also leave footsteps too, but after a certain amount of time, the footsteps will disappear because it's been too long to the track. Next, we have his other passive, which allows you to get the antennas. There's these antennas across the map that you can use to actually get next ring. And with next ring, you can actually position yourselves better in the next zone, which actually can be very helpful if you don't really want to fight anyone, or if you want to know where the next fight's going to be at, so you can take part of it early on and post up and get ready. And that is of course all of Bloodhound's abilities. Now Bloodhound is honestly one of the best scan legends in Apex. If you do not like him, I can recommend 2 other scan legends down the line you can actually buy with your legend tokens, which is going to be Seer, which basically Seer has legal wall hacks. I'm not going to go over all of his abilities in this video, but I can definitely say if you want to see a video in the future where I go over him, or maybe other legends in a more advanced guide, then let me know in the comments. Then after that we got Valkyrie, which Valkyrie is basically you can fly anywhere with her ultimate. Anyone you see flying will be highlighted, so you know where a team's at or where an enemy's at, so that way maybe there's a solo, you can jump in with your squad. So that's a good thing about Valkyrie. But those are other scan legends I would recommend you check out after using Bloodhound. The next legend I'm going to recommend for beginners is actually going to be Wraith. Now Wraith has got some great abilities that can be used defensively and offensively. First, we have Into the Void. Into the Void is her tactical. When you activate her tactical, it'll take you 2 seconds to go into this void. Once you're in this void, nothing can hit you, nothing can affect you, you can't be shot at, nothing. You're invincible. Now, what you want to keep in mind though is that you can't shoot anyone when you're in this void. So meaning that you want to play with this defensively. So let's say I'm going into a fight, right? And I am actually very low and I need to attack out. So I use my tactical to back off to go to a door. While I'm on this door, I can use some cells, some batteries, because I'm holding the door so they can't get in, and that way I can heal on up. Now, anytime you use that tactical, you want to make sure you're using it when you know it's safe to use, and you'll be able to get out safely and go to a spot where there's a building nearby, or go somewhere where it's cheeky and no one's going to find you, and then you can heal up there. So that's the thing with the tactical. You also want to play most times around with your tactical, because you're going to be using that, the biggest thing in your kit. Because of that, you can actually back off from a fight, push in, and then you can rinse and repeat. You want to make sure to have your tactical at all times when you're pushing a fight, so that way you can scapegoat at any time. Next, we have her ultimate. Her ultimate is honestly okay. It's not the best ultimate, and it's called Dimensional Rift. Now, when you activate her ultimate, you'll create a portal from point A to point B. So as soon as you activate your portal, you'll of course create the entrance. Now, when you go somewhere else, of course create an exit, and of course you can see how long your portal is until it runs down to where it makes the actual portal, because I'll percentage counting down. Once it hits 0, it'll of course create that portal and link you to do 2 different spots. I could not say that right. So what you want to keep in mind is that you got to be careful with it, is because if you're trying to use this to actually get away from a fight, the enemy can literally just hit your portal and come to you. But you can actually use this much more defensively instead of actually using the scapegoat to actually bring back an enemy. So most times around, what I'll usually do with her ultimate is I'll save her ultimate when I'm in a fight. So let's say my teammate is knocked, right? I see him, okay? I'm gonna run over to him, I'm gonna set a portal for point A and then use my tactical, which I can tactical, and then with my tactical we'll run off and I'm safe, right? And I can set up the portal anything where it's behind cover. Now once I got cover, of course my teammate can go through that portal and come to me and I can res them there. It makes it really good for resing somebody in a safe spot. Now you got to keep in mind that you want to watch that portal just in case somebody actually tries to push through it, because if they push through it they can kill you in the process, which makes you very vulnerable within the few seconds you need to res them. Now of course we have raised passes, which is voices from the void. Basically how this works is that anytime you're near an enemy or enemy's aiming at you, it'll of course say somebody's aiming at you or somebody's looking at you, meaning that somebody's probably nearby about to shoot you. So you can use this information to make sure not to get jumped by someone or someone who's sniping you. You can figure out where they're at. Usually it's always going to be at 180. When you hear them, they're going to shoot at you. So you want to make sure just to reposition yourself 180 to double check to see where they are, then get away from there. So that way you get a safe spot. So that's of course her passive. But honestly, all of Wraith's abilities are really amazing. Definitely the biggest thing in her kit is going to be her tactical, which she can use to play smart with. The next legend I'm going to recommend for new players is Lifeline. Now Lifeline's really a good legend for people starting out who just want to be able to heal at any point and not have to worry about doing anything too crazy, because you can play safe with her and play post up somewhere and use your drone to heal yourself while you shoot somebody from afar. And also you can use it to support your team too. Maybe you're new at the game, you don't feel like you can push the enemy squad, but you have teammates who are much more aggressive than you, who always need heals or who just want you to be res. You can play smart, go up and tap somebody, which will start resing them, and you can use that to help out your teammates get more heals or get a nice push on or make sure that the dust don't go down. And then of course you have our ultimate, which is a supply drop that it glows blue in the sky instead of it being white for a normal care package. But the only thing you got to keep in mind is that this can be seen by anyone in lobbies. So a team could theoretically push you, but you can also use it for a barricade or just knowing for people to push you, and that way you post up somewhere and ready to fight them. That's a good thing about it. Now there's a cool little extra tip I got it for you guys who are going to play Lifeline. If all of your squad mates have purple armor, your next care package will be guaranteed to have gold armor, which is really nice to have. Now the only unfortunate thing about Lifeline's actual ultimate is that it doesn't drop attachments or ammo or anything, just drops heals, which is kind of sad. But unfortunately it's not the worst thing in the world, but I wish they did buff it, that they made it so that you could get actual attachments for your guns. Hopefully in the future they'll buff Lifeline, because Lifeline right now is not the strongest support legend, but is very good for people starting out. Now you do have her passive as well. As soon as you open a blue crate, you'll get actually an extra attachment or extra heals depending on what the crate gives you. Red crates won't give you anything extra, it's only the blue crates, so keep that in mind when you're opening up blue crates with her, that you can get extra loot. You might want to call out to your teammates too, that way they don't open it on accident, and that way you don't miss out on a possible opportunity to get a purple mag. The next legend I'm going to recommend for new players to use is Gibby. Now Gibby is one of those legends where you can play aggressive with him or defensive. Most times around you'll probably be playing defensive with his bubble, because his bubble is kind of the same thing as Wraith's actual tactical, where the more you have it, the more fights you're going to win or just be able to actually take advantage of. Now within Gibby's bubble, you want to use actually the bubble to your advantage in a fight, so you want to post it up right next to you. That way you can actually carry a shotgun or carry some close range gun and pop it in and out, which is peeking the bubble, which is a very strong thing to do if somebody's not ready for it, because you can actually go in and out of the bubble, making most times around people can't even hit you if you're in it. And on top of that, you can actually res people in there too. Most people won't usually push a Gibby bubble as long as you have a teammate nearby, so meaning that you can actually go throw down a bubble right next to a down teammate. If there's no one nearby you, or the team knows that they're going to probably res and your teammate's close, that the other one who isn't knocked, you can actually get the full res off, which is very good. So 9 out of 10 times most people won't actually push a Gibby in its own bubble if the Gibby's playing it smart. So you just got to take advantage of Gibby's bubble in a fight, make sure you know what to do with it, and win fights with it. It's really strong. And of course you have his ultimate too, which his ultimate can honestly win you games depending on the zone. So if it's the last zone, it's very tight, you can throw the ultimate down, and then of course it could actually knock people or crack people's armors, which could theoretically win the fight. Now Gibby's ultimate is probably the ultimate that's least used in most games, because you usually don't use it offensively. There's two things you can do with it. One is last zone, where you do use it offensively, where it'll hit everyone in the last zone, and the second one is where you'll use it to actually make it so enemies won't push you when you put a bubble down, because as soon as you put the bubble down and you actually do need a res, you want to throw your ulti. So throw your ulti, throw your bubble, no one's going to probably push you as long as the enemies are not too too close. If they are close, they're definitely going to go for your bubble, so you got to be careful of that. But you can get a res off of it. That's why you can defensively with it, or you can use it to make your enemies not even push you or try to hold them off for rotation. So let's say this wall in front of me here, I'm a Gibby. I'm going to swing this way, right? But I can't swing that way because I know there's enemies on that rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my bubble over there, making it so all the enemies won't focus on me, and I can rotate this way and the enemies will actually have to run off. Now if I'm fast enough, I can either cut them off or I can rotate to a different direction. So that's what you want to do with Gibby's actual ultimate, is using those 3 scenarios. You gotta be smart with it, because if you use it wrong, you're wasting a huge ulti that takes forever to get. The next legend I'm gonna recommend for beginners is gonna be Bangalore. Bangalore is a great legend for anyone who wants to start out and be able to push teams, but also back out at any time and have cover at all times, because you have some awesome abilities that complement just that. So let me explain them. The first ability she has is her passive. Her passive is Under Pressure. As soon as you get shot at by an enemy, you will get a 30% movement increase for 2 seconds, which is awesome, and this goes perfectly with her smokes. Now her smokes can be used at any point. You get 2 of them at once, but when you use one, of course, you'll need to charge back. You got to keep that in mind. So you can use both of them, and of course one will charge back over time, which will be nice. But when you're in these smokes, nobody's really going to actually be able to shoot you or push you, because of the fact that most people won't push a Bangalore smoke if you're a good Bangalore, because most times around you can use a Bangalore smoke to heal, create a blockade so no one can see you, or you can use it to actually res somebody if they're in the smoke in a good position, like you see in this footage here. So I got to keep that in mind when you use Bangalore. Bangalore, his smokes are great with her passive, being able to run away from fights. So someone's shooting at you, of course you smoke down, Under Pressure ability, you get to run away from fight and get to a safe spot. And now we got her ultimate. Her ultimate is similar to Gibby's ult, but it's slightly different. So let me explain. First of all, how it works is pretty straightforward. You throw a flare down. Now once this flare activates, it's going to take a few seconds. A bunch of missiles are going to land on the spot. Now, anything in that radius will not get affected for 2 seconds, but as soon as those 2 seconds go off, everything will blow up, everyone will take damage, and everyone will be stunned. Now this is different than Gibby's, because Gibby's how it works is as soon as you throw it down, instantly anybody in that will get hurt and also stunned. So Bangalore takes 2 seconds. So this can be really good to keep enemies off you and make it so they have to back off, or make it so they reposition themselves so they can't do anything. And this is awesome in last zone too, because we can treat it as Gibby's, where you throw it and there's no more zone for them to hide. You just gotta hurt them. You're just gonna hurt them with it, probably knock them and kill them like you see here, like how we won this game. So Bangalore is honestly a great legend if you play with that good mindset and know how to use her smokes perfectly, and also play exactly like Gibby when you use her ulti, or play ulti just right. So honestly, Bangalore is an amazing legend. I can recommend anyone who's starting on Apex, and I think you might just like her. And those are the 5 best legends you can start off with in Apex Legends. Now, of course, these legends might not become your main down the line. You might find somebody who you enjoy way more using in Apex Legends. So you always gotta try out new legends to figure out something you like. And of course, if you didn't like this video here today, make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed so you don't miss any of our awesome videos. And don't forget to check us on Twitch. We do stream, of course, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Link down below to our Twitch channel. And until then, I'll see you guys in my video. G-Man, out.